everything has to go through working memory. What is working memory? It's that ability for you to hold information for just a few seconds, manipulate it to get to the answer or conclusion before it falls out. Now, we use this in everything that we do. For example, can you go upstairs and get ready for bed? You go up to the top of the stairs and you've forgotten why you got there. Can you get me these 3 things upstairs and bring them down? Can you remember those 3 things? I need you to do your 3 chores today. Can you remember those 3 chores? Well, those are the ones that are more tangible, but also they're important for things like doing mental math, being able to envision the story problem, or even being able to read a passage and be able to remember what you're doing. Another way you use working memory, and I see this all the time with kids who struggle here, is they're completing a study guide for a class. They read the question, they go to the book, they say, what was the question again? They go back and read the question, they go back to the book, they find the answer, they go back, well, that doesn't answer the question, because they can't hold both the question and the content in their head. So this is something that you oftentimes think as slow processing speed because they can't get work done fast, but you need to tease apart, is it working memory or is it processing speed? Because working memory can require you to do reload, 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 reload. And if you're having to reload multiple times before you complete the task, that's taking you much longer to get the task done. So probably the more important question, what do you do if you have a kid with weak working memory? How can you train it? Anything you can do to exercise holding information in their head for just a few minutes or seconds and manipulating it. When you're driving in a car, this is one of my favorite things to do. Give them 3 letters from the license plate and have them put them in the right sequence. Give them 3 numbers and have them put them in the right sequence. You could even give them 3 numbers or 3 letters and have them say them to you backwards, trying to retain them. And as they get better, add another and another and another. You could also have them, give them the 3 numbers and have them add them up. So once again, do what your child can handle. If they can barely handle reciting the numbers, don't ask them to add them yet. But there's also a lot of games that you can play. So for example, any kind of card game pretty much exercises that working memory. Even something like Uno, you have to remember who played what in order as you're going around because you don't want to set somebody up to win the game. You can play a game called Distraction. This is a wonderful game where you have to remember the sequence of numbers, and then after you get a number of sequence, you'll get a question which distracts you from the sequence of numbers. Doing mental math is a really good way to exercise that working memory. Playing the game Set, which allows you to having to keep in your head all the different combinations that in terms of trying to find that set. Chess, of course, is a great game because you're having to mentally think about if I make this move and they make that move, what's going to happen. So you're trying to hold this sequence of moves in your head. And finally, one of our favorite ones, Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza. And why is that a hard one? Because you actually have to remember the sequence and what you're actually saying those words. So go forth, exercise your working memory. It's important for everything.